podcast
I did.
stuff. Oh, so you didn't get the new Tesla update yet?
I did not get that yet. So
Yeah,
now I'm going to wait for it.
yeah. I know. I always seem to get it first on the East Coast. It's weird.
It's just probably time zone thing.
Yeah. But they made some little changes to the Sentry Mode, so it doesn't flash the headlights anymore when someone comes up on the car.
That's kind of cool. I've never really used that, so I'd like to see how that works.
Yeah, it's better because the way I park, my car is like facing my neighbor's house, and before, if it was raining or something, the Sentry Mode would come on like it would false like at night, right? It would come on and flash the headlights, the high beams,
Oh
like at the
yeah,
house. So I can't
that'd
put
be
it on
annoying.
anymore. So now this new one's it's supposed to not flash the lights, just puts like a pattern on the lights. So I'm gonna try to get a video of that, see how it looks. I'll send it to you later. um,
Yeah, I
so
tried the I told you I tried the fart thing.
oh yeah, that's always good. That's always good.
My
Boys,
daughter liked that a lot.
you gotta watch people walking by all day until you get somebody.
Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to come in this morning to test it out. I
Yeah.
forgot to do it.
All right, so we want to talk about a new access point, new cloud access point from Ingenious.
Yeah,
Um, the ECW130.
the 130.
Yeah, so what is that?
So we have a fair amount. We have in the cloud lineup. We have several cloud APs, and we have a pretty popular one, which is the ECW120 or 120. I call it.
Yeah.
It's a 2x2 11 AC, and a lot of people buy it, and it's it's priced really aggressively, and so the next item up. If you don't go to a wall plate, the next item up on a ceiling mount is a 2x2 11AX and then a 4x4 11AX. And so we wanted to fill a gap with a 4x4 11AC. So it's a 4x4 Wi-Fi 5 or 11AC Wave 2 access point. Aggregate speeds like 2.5 gig, somewhere around there. That's theoretical. But I've been running it in the office here, and I've been connected to it, and I've had other people connect to it, and I get to I can get close to line speed on it. I mean, line speed here is not too fast, so but it seems to perform like pretty well right now. So
Yeah, when you say line speed, like your connection's only like 40 meg there or something, right?
yeah, it's 50 by 50.
Yeah, so don't get people too excited that it's going to do a gigabit or anything, but
Oh yeah, no,
it
definitely
should
not.
like it's a 4x4 11 AC. So most clients are 2x2, right? So the 4x4
Yeah,
is going to help increase range, but the connection rate's going to be like 866 maximum probably. And of that you'll get probably around half maybe, right?
yeah,
Possibly.
yep, about 50. Yeah,
About
about
50% of that.
50%.
Now, the good thing about it is it's pretty high power for today's access points. With on the 2.4 gigahertz it has 25 dBm or
Yeah,
300 milliwatts.
yeah, with a 4 dBi antenna.
Yeah, yeah. So it's gonna have pretty good range now. So people that are gonna go for this are have a budget situation, probably
Yeah.
right where they can't use Wi-Fi 6 or 6E because of their budget. And the
They're
little
still
bit
looking for that speed,
right.
higher speed across not too many client devices, but like I would say in office anywhere from 5 to 20, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
You're gonna deploy these access points.
right. For a smaller office, maybe it's a remote office or whatever, and you're not going to need as many of these because it's 4x4 and it has fairly high power. So it's going to save in the budget that way too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's only 199 MSRP price too.
Yeah.
So, you're getting I would call it a high throughput access point because it's a 4x4. Connections are going to be really steady. They're going to be pretty fast. Only 199. It's still cloud manageable, so you get all those features in cloud for free anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can program SSIDs, everything, So yeah, it's a nice value for what you're getting.
And people that were using the ECW120, they probably want to upgrade to this because, it's a 4x4. It's going to give you more range. You're probably going to need less access points, so it's probably going to save you money if you just use these instead.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely can move to that. It kind of reminds me of the EWS360 AP and the EAP 1750H.
Yes.
Now they were 28 dBm, and I think a lot of people ran that on auto.
Yeah.
This one not as high as that power, but still very very high power. And by the way, on the 5 gigahertz side, it's a 5 dBi antenna or a 6 dBi antenna. I need to look at it. I can't remember now.
And a little bit less power on the 5 gigahertz side, right?
Yeah, and that's what you want anyway. You don't want too much on the 5 gigahertz. But yeah, so the dB gain or the dBi gain is pretty good. I'm trying to find it really quick so I can. Here we go. Yeah, so on the 2.4 it's 4 dBi. On the 5 gigahertz it's 6 dBi. So I was wrong. Yeah,
okay, 6 dBi. So that's a pretty big antenna actually.
Yeah.
And they're internal. So 4x4 internal, so it's no bigger than a standard access point. And use the standard PoE, everything like before. So yeah, I would say if you're budget minded, you're using the 120, you haven't used any before, then I would just start off with this one probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Switch over to the 130, you're gonna get better range, better performance, need less access points than with something smaller, right? That's 2x2.
Yeah, and typically the 2x2s, they're going to be slightly lower in power, and they're going to also have slightly smaller antennas.
And less range, because even though
because of those things, right?
Yeah, and because of the client devices are only 2x2 usually, it's still a 4x4 still helps to increase range because it has more antenna possibilities, right?
Yeah.
So it's using those extra antennas to increase range. Whereas if you had a 4x4 client, you had these meshing or something, you'd use those to increase speed and range. But yeah, so
and really, like, how many 4x4 clients are out there?
Not many. I mean,
like in a business application, not too many.
Everything's 2x2, and that's probably the way it's going to stay for a while. I mean, we'll see. I mean, just because there's even with Wi-Fi 6E and Wi-Fi 7, there's you have 3 bands now, so they're not going to try to increase the antennas and the devices. Probably they're just gonna they're gonna have to put in 6 separate antennas anyway, right?
Yes. Yep.
So there you go. So yeah, ECW130 will have those in stock pretty soon. They're shipping right now, I think.
Yeah, they're available now.
Yeah. Okay. And then you wanted to talk about channel width. So
no. Client rate.
You're right. Client rate. Why are you seeing a certain rate on your
connection
device?
rate? We should say
connection rate. Yeah.
Yes. So I came across a case where somebody was saying, I'm only connecting at 400 by 400. And I thought that was interesting. And then it wasn't, I wasn't speaking to the customer directly, and they were saying, well, we used to be connected at 866. So, if you're going from 866 down to 400, whatever the number was, I'm not sure exactly what they said, but that's the connection rate, right? And so the connection rate is, it's basically the pipeline, but it's not necessarily like your speed or your throughput, right?
Right. Yeah. You're not going to actually get that speed, but you're going to get a fraction of what that connection rate is. And you'll see that connection rate like on Windows if you go into the network settings and do properties on the interface, you'll see like what the actual connection rate is. And like you said, it'll go from 866. That would be a 2x2 Wi-Fi 5 client, 11AC client, 2x2 would be 866.
And you can typically look at the access point, and it's going to give you the theoretical connection rate.
Yeah.
And depending on, and the reason you brought up channel width, it really depends on the channel width. Like if you have it set to 20, if you have it set to 40 megahertz, or you have it set to 80 megahertz, that's going to dictate the connection rate, right?
Right.
So yeah, so when they said, I was at 866, I was like 866. That that's got to be the connection rate they're talking about.
Yeah.
They used to be at 400. So the first thing you want to look at is like, okay, how wide are the channels? So it sounded like they used to have it on 80 megahertz. It was 5 gigahertz. They had it on 80 megahertz. Everybody probably trimmed it down to 40 because 80 was just too much and they had too much interference.
Right.
So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I think a lot of people look at that and say, well, isn't that should be my speed, or why is my speed cut in half if they're looking at it from a previous access point to a new access point.
Right.
Some of the things you want to look at are like, did they have a 4x4 access point and then they went down to a 2x2 access point? Was the channel width at 80 versus now it's 40? And the reason it's at 40 is because maybe there was interference and they had to trim it down. There's a lot of scenarios. And then the connection rate is one thing, but then like it also depends on the connection to the AP, right? So if the connection, say it's on 2.4 and it's really far away, or 5 gigahertz on the cusp of like disconnecting and connecting to 2.4, your connection rate's going to be different then too.
It'll go down the further away you get. So that 866 would be right next to the access point, best possible speed connection rate. As you walk away, it's going to go down in like an unpredictable way. But if you was sitting at the same spot where you got the 866, then you're absolutely right. Then someone changed the access point from 80 megahertz channel width to 40. And that's what would cause that. So it's just something to look out for. And again,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no problem.
Just to give everybody an idea, so I'm connected to the ECW336.
That's a nice one.
And I'm on the 6 gigahertz frequency. I'm on channel 85. And my link speed, my connection rate is 1081 by 1201. Ooh. So that's my connection rate.
Yeah.
So that's my theoretical speed, or the connection rate, and that's my I have that capacity, I guess. I don't know how else to say that.
And that's why you want Wi-Fi 6E. If you want to be fast, you got to be on 6E because that's and I'm on mine, when I connect on the 336, I get over a gigabit actual throughput.
So what is your connection rate, if you can?
I'm not actually, it's not on right now, but I think it connects at like 1.8 or something like that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. But when I run a speed test, I'll get over a gig, on my gigabit connection.
Yeah.
Because Comcast is oversupplying a little bit.
Yeah.
So if people want fast, Wi-Fi 6E is the way to go. And we're still running this great promotion, right?
Yes. Did you want to bring that up? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, talk about it a little bit. I know we talked about it last week, but what's the promotion?
So when you buy, when everybody else is no availability, we're trying to disrupt everything, right? So we have an access point. It's the ECW336. It's a tri-band. It's Wi-Fi 6E, so it operates on 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, and 6 gigahertz. And when you buy one, we'll drop ship you a free one. So anything that you buy from Jeff, you send us your invoice and we'll ship you a free one.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a great deal, and there's no limit, right? As many as you buy until the promotion's over, right?
Until availability is...
okay. Yeah, exactly. Availability and promotion over is the same thing. But it's a great deal. Let me know if you have any questions about it. And the ECW336 is in my opinion the best AP